Very good afternoon to all of you. So time is 3 o'clock. So let us start on time as usual. I welcome all of you on the day two session of our NLP certification program. I thank you for your presence this Sunday afternoon. And we already have our resource person with us, Dr. David sir. I won't take much time. I'll hand over the session to Dr. David sir. Sir, please kindly take over. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. And thanks all participants for coming on time on a Sunday. Okay. I'll just share my screen without delaying the session. We will just jump straight away into the session. Just give me a moment. I'll just sharing my screen. So just we are taking off from where we left yesterday. Hope my screen is shared.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Audio is okay?
Audio is not there.
No, not in the screen actually. My voice and other.
Yeah, that is
audible. Okay, fine. Okay, thank you. Right. So yesterday we stopped with the roadmap for a life coach actually. So here we are getting out with the foundations. So there are a lot of verticals which you can become a life coach in. Yesterday we discussed like counseling, mentoring, then spiritual well-being, mental well-being, fitness, healing actually, therapist. So there are a lot of verticals and you cannot help business people how to manage their finance to get persons. Public speaking is and
Sir, your voice is breaking. Sir, your voice is breaking.
Yes, sir.
It's breaking, sir.
Some mental problems, addictions, some other undesirable habits they would have acquired, which they were not able to come out with. Then relationships. You can counsel between relationship people have towards each other. So there are a lot of opportunities which you can do. So that niche, whichever is appealing to you, you will have to find. Then you can treat with certain clients, work on with certain clients. You both develop. You get feedback from your clients. You also tutor your clients. You learn. You come out with your own models of your own unique set of procedures and all those things. Then you go for marketing yourself as a life coach and conduct client intervention program. For that is where we stopped yesterday. Now we will have a look at certain skills desirable for coaching. Okay. Now, as I told you, it is an intertwined program. We will also learn how to practice NLP. At the same time, we would also see what we can do to become a NLP coach while we are practicing NLP. Okay. Because to become a master in NLP, it will take long years. So we cannot wait till that long years to actually master NLP and then become a life coach. Once we know the basic ground rules, procedures, and all those things, we can start practicing NLP. So that is the kind of, the mode which this program is designed. So we will start today's session with the skills for coaching. Can somebody throw out on? So you understand what is coaching here first? Yesterday we discussed the basics all about NLP. So NLP is Neuro Linguistic Programming. So people, when they receive certain inputs out of all their sensory information, they process it, they form images of it, and then based on that, they behave. actually. So we as an NLP coach are trying to in that process, intervene in that processing area, and we are trying to come out with the desirable outcome in the people we consider as clients who are our coaches actually, and we are the coach. So while we practice it for ourselves, we are also trying to bring in the change in the people we coach actually. So when you sit for this coaching, when you are trying to coach somebody to do this NLP, to perform NLP and practice NLP, what would be the skills you would require as a NLP coach? So can you
First
open
one
up
is
and
empathetic.
you will
Empathy.
have to be empathetic. So what you can explain it in the context of NLP coaching. Imagine you have you may have your own target audience in your mind. Imagine if you are a faculty or somebody else, you imagine there are certain students who have come to you with certain problems and they wanted to get out of it, and you are trying to coach them. Or if you are at your corporate, so imagine there are some employees who seek your advice on improvising themselves. Okay, so imagine you are dealing with the community or juveniles or providing full-time training and coaching and counseling services. So imagine whoever it is. So in that context, you tell me what actually empathy is. Empathy is very much a skill which is required for a life coach. So what actually is empathy in this context?
Understanding the problem from their point of view.
Understanding the problem from their point of view, right? So
Go to root
could,
cause of the problem and
yeah,
find out.
we have discussed in our yesterday's session, NLP is managing the subjective experience, correct? So we have also discussed what is this subjective experience, what is that same kind of input, how you experience and process in your mind will be totally different from the veracity and the magnanimity of how they process in their mind. Okay, so we are trying to analyze the subjective experience. So when you want to analyze subjective experience, things have to be looked from their perspective, not from your perspective. See, this is a simple issue. Why do you bother so much for that? That is the kind of statement is not expected as a life coach, because for you, it's a simple issue. Okay. For him, it would have been an issue which would have created a much more deeper, woundful impact. So you need to be empathetical to understand the pain kind of emotions which is from their perspective. Okay, very well said, ma'am. Purnima, ma'am, thank you. Then somebody else can come out with some other skills for a life coach.
Emotional intelligence, sir.
Emotional intelligence. How? Like what? Context.
You have to understand the true emotions of the other person and
Is that
analyze the problem.
okay? That is what empathy, ma'am, has told. What you have said, emotional intelligence, I totally agree with it, but the context is a bit, I mean, not that appropriate. Emotional intelligence, like you should possess emotional intelligence, exactly. First of all, let us have the idea of what is emotional intelligence to you people. Assurance of secrecy. We will come to that point next. We will finish up with this emotional intelligence. So, what is emotional intelligence?
When you can control your emotions like stress.
Why I'm getting responses only from a particular person? What about the others who interacted very well yesterday? Have you come to a conclusion that whatever we say, this fellow is going to show some slides and tell that only? So why do you want to bother?
May I, sir?
Please. Yeah, please, ma'am.
Emotional intelligence is understanding your own like emotions, feelings, and it is also about understanding the emotions and feelings of other person also.
Uh, more than understanding, Can you replace that word with word
Yeah, can be
understanding?
predicting,
Is it?
can be predicting,
One
can be
second.
trying to, not controlling is the right word, but predicting.
Not
Sir,
predicting actually.
To
It is
manage it
actually
in
controlling,
Managing.
Yes, sir. Yes.
managing. Yes, yes,
to
can I?
manage it in positive way.
Sir, balancing the emotions.
Yeah,
yes,
emotionally. Can I?
yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
So
Yeah,
it is basically
managing self,
behaving. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Please.
managing self and managing others. So in this,
Others.
personal competence and social competence are being dealt in emotional
Okay.
intelligence. And some personal competence deals with self-awareness and self-regulation. And when
Okay.
we talk about social competence, it is talking about empathy, motivation, and social skills, which talks
Okay.
about interpersonal relation. So
Okay.
emotional intelligence is nothing but not only understanding our feelings and becoming aware of how to manage ourselves, and
Okay.
also knowing to manage others and also understand others so that
Right.
our relationship is strengthened.
Okay. Gopal sir, you got something to say.
Yeah, it is generally, sir, for me, it is a awareness of your own emotion and depicting the behavior which is more desirable
Oh, fine.
without suppressing
Right.
it.
Okay. Now, Sonia
Can I?
ma'am. Yeah, Sonia ma'am. I
Yes, sir.
just want to go back to Sonia ma'am. Sonia ma'am,
Yeah.
now can you tell how emotional intelligence is a desirable trait for a coach? How it will be practically
Yeah,
applicable?
emotional. Yeah. Yeah, see, if we are talking about coach, it means somebody who is helping other, maybe direct, indirect counseling and all. And so, if we are not emotionally intelligent, we are not able to understand and predict or control or having awareness of others' emotions also. So, first, I think self is important, understanding yourself, and then understanding whom we are coaching. So, it is, I think, very, very desirable.
As a coach, who would be the persons who would be you would be dealing with actually? As an NLP coach or whatever vertical you specialize in, who is the kind of persons you will be dealing with?
They'll be mentally disturbed,
You
not severely disturbed, but having some a relationship issue or some emotional issue or a particular problem which is related to the mind.
To put it in general, mental, these are all the forms of problems they will face. Mental
It can be anybody
discomfort.
who wants that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
It can be anybody.
It can be anybody, but anyone who has a certain problem, right? Something undesirable they have got in them, which they want to get rid of, correct? So those will be the audience for you as a life coach, right? If everything is okay with me, then I'm not going to come to you for coaching, correct, ma'am? So
Yes.
for a coach, the target audience is somebody who has got a realization that something is undesirable, something is unproductive, something either in the form of behavior or emotions or thoughts that he or she is not comfortable with. So they want to get rid of that. So such kind of persons you would be dealing with actually. Okay. And it can go to the stage where you go for deep counseling and getting rid of habits. There are certain habits which are deeply developed, and those habits they want to get rid of. Then it requires a lot of training and a lot of interventions from your part to give it to them. And sometimes you also may also deal with people who are mentally disturbed also. So any way or the other you put it, they will be having a problem. Okay.
Yeah.
So they
David sir,
have,
They have
yes, sir.
some clarity.
David
Can I?
sir,
Yes.
just a quick, I thought, okay, a small thought sharing. See, in my experience interacting with a lot of startups and even a lot of people from academic and corporate, and generally there are 3 4 areas we very often confuse in the sense, like in academic parlance we use the word mentoring and counseling, and both the articles are different. Mentoring is more related to the subject and their performance, and counseling is more related to the psychological things. And if I call that coaching the life coach and business coach, I think coaching is little bit of different than mentoring and counseling. In case of coaching, like business coach or leadership coach or whatever coach we can call it, I think this is for to achieve any particular set objectives, and how we can achieve that objectives through training and other behavioral changes, and more likely so some part of counseling always will be there. And can you please clarify these areas? I think no, it should not be overlapping with one with another.
Okay.
Please.
Right. See, I'm talking of a general life coach. So, as we have dealt with yesterday, as you rightly said, though you are counseling, though you are helping out certain people to be more productive and all those things, what would be that would be something that would make them right now unproductive, right? So that is why they have come to you to become more productive, right? So my thing is, I'm not putting specific action verbs like they have mental problems, they have issues, or they have some psychological problems. My
Absolutely.
point is, like, I'm trying to give a more generic term, like they have certain need actually. They have
Absolutely, sir.
certain,
Absolutely.
so
I think
that is
that's,
why they come to you.
yeah,
The
that's in the
need,
right
you
perspective. Yes.
yeah, the need, as you told, will be varied. Somebody may have a psychological need. Somebody, we thought of like yesterday, like with the fag end of the session, I told you there is also a vertical where you can teach about their personal well-being, like physical fitness and all those things, dieting, living a healthy lifestyle. So there, the need is not only psychological, it is also a physiological need also. So my point here is to drive, they come with their need. Okay. So when they come with the need, you should have the emotional intelligence to let them open up.
Sir, can
So
I have a
yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
clarification?
Yes, ma'am.
You were saying undesirable behavior. As
Yeah.
President Sir also said
Mm.
that need not be an undesirable behavior. Somebody comes for rising his inputs in the educational area, say he wants to prepare for IPS. So it may be a desirable behavior. Need not all the persons have.
It may,
So,
okay, I'll
yeah.
come out with it. It may
Okay.
be a desirable behavior, ma'am. But my
Yeah.
point is, like, if they could achieve that desirable behavior by themselves, yes, ma'am, ma'am.
No, for
If,
that
no,
only,
once again,
it
no,
need
once
not
again.
be undesirable. Desirable
No,
behavior they want to
yeah, yeah, yeah.
achieve
I
by getting
understood.
help.
I
Yes.
understood totally. Just
Okay.
let me. If you know they have a desirable behavior, if they could attain their desirable behavior by themselves, why do they come to you?
That is for guidance, for coaching.
Guidance. So guidance on what? Something is pulling them.
Some
Something
inputs.
is no, 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 no.
Say
Yeah, no,
they may
no.
not have
Listen.
experience. They
Yeah,
wanted some inputs to
that's
develop.
that is what.
As
That
Sir,
is what.
President Sir also said, startups, they need guidance and some kind of
Exactly.
mental support. Yeah.
There is a gap actually. So that is why I didn't put the word problem or undesirable. See, undesirable behaviors will be there in certain. See, we are discussing about all the verticals in general.
I think you
So
were talking about the need based on their need.
yes,
I
actually.
think.
So that is why I put the word need. But in certain cases, as Jayabharati ma'am told, people who come with the mental problems, there is certain sort of undesirable behavior. It depends on case to case. In any case, there is always a gap. There is always a need, actually. Okay. So for you to understand that need, you need to possess a lot of a high level of emotional intelligence so that you can better understand. How do you understand their need, ma'am? So we will forget about using the words undesirable behaviors, problems, but that would also be there. If you are a life coach, you would also be dealing in that areas. Not all people, there are certain people. I heights, improving their productivity and all those things. who does require a counseling? And when we are going for, behavior intervention kind of thing, who do you think require behavior intervention? So they want to remove something, get rid of something actually. That is also, that will also come under the purview of a coach. You would deal with different clients and different clients will come out with different needs actually. Okay. The point here to understand is how is this emotional intelligence trait which is more required for you as a coach? Can you now tell ma'am, like when you want to close that need, first of all, what you will have to understand, ma'am? My question to Gomati ma'am. They come with a need. We forget whether it is an undesirable thing. We will take for, in your case, like a desirable thing they wanted to achieve. So this emotional intelligence, how can you say, let us assume you possess a high level of emotional intelligence. How will you make it gain a competitive edge in dealing with such people? Hello?
Can I, sir?
Yes, sir.
No, in fact, I'm enjoying the session, so I thought of interacting and learn more from you and other participants. And if you look at the hierarchy, generally it starts with sympathy, empathy. Then the latest one, as per Harvard Review, they have come out with one theory of being compassionate. Sympathy, you understand, okay, something happened, we feel for it. Empathy is okay, something happened, I'm with you. And compassionate is one more step ahead, wherein we be there with the person and physically we help that person, whether monetary or in other ways. That's being compassionate. Now, emotional intelligence, more with like no emotional quotient, what we talk about, as Gomati ma'am and Purnima ma'am and others also said, Gopal sir also said that it's more to do with the feelings and emotions and the mindset and psychological aspects of that particular person. Like if a person comes to me with certain need, as Purnima ma'am said, and you also finally said it's a need. There may be desirable behavior, there may be undesirable behavior. Both the things may be there. So let us call as a need. If someone comes with a need, first of all, I try to understand whether actually that need is genuine or not. Many times people, because of lack of information, lack of access to the knowledge or other resources, sometimes they have the solution with them, but they don't understand, they don't introspect properly that they have the solution in their hand. So a little bit of spark or a little bit of, if I can tell them or discuss, just generally, they understand, oh, this is the thing. So it happened many times in the mentoring session, in the startup mentoring especially, what I do it. And the later part, sometimes some people may have some kind of psychological barriers, in the sense their sentiments, mindset, or a kind of fear in their mind that of low risk taking, whatever may be the case. I think that's the area wherein we need to get into and engage with them, one-to-one, more compassionately, and try to find out what exactly they're afraid of, okay, what exactly the things stopping them to achieve their objective or to move one step ahead. If you can identify those intangible barriers, I think probably then it will be very easy for us to prescribe certain inputs or guidance how he or she can overcome in the given context, because each individual will have some contextual references in terms of their financial capabilities, socio-cultural, the attributes. Each individual is a different. So I think one particular prescription may not work well with others. That's what in the startup we say, that Elon Musk is successful doesn't mean that the way he becomes successful, all others also will become successful. So similar like N. Narayan Murthy. He is successful doesn't mean that others also follow his footsteps will become successful. So it's, as you rightly said, sir, it's very necessary to understand or be in their shoes, what we say in general, to discuss, engage, and understand their the mindset, the feelings, and the hidden hindrances or the barriers, what's stopping them to achieve their objectives and goals. Thank you, sir,
Of
for
course,
the opportunity.
and that is where your emotional intelligence is related. This is the answer I expected actually. You need to listen to them a lot. So for which you need to possess a high level of patience. Sometimes the inputs they give you may challenge your beliefs and value systems which you already hold. So in that case, you should not get emotionally provoked, because you need to allow him to speak, uh, even if it is challenging your values and belief system. Like, you need to allow him, because he has come to you for a need. So that is where emotional intelligence helps. Okay. Now, any other trait you can come out with? Some others. Somebody else?
Persistence is very important. You should not give up when you are
Okay.
counseling. You
Okay.
should keep on
Persistence is very
persisting,
important.
patience. These are the skills
I
in.
think
Uh,
you should kind of tell him that you are with him throughout his journey, his or her journey.
Okay. You should provide him with the confidence that you are there to support, actually.
Yeah.
Right, Nikit sir? Okay.
Yes.
Listening
And
skills, listening
yeah,
skills.
Shruti Desai, somebody has posted listening skills. Exactly, listening skills. Ma'am, we will come back to your point. Purnima, ma'am, you said what? Right now, you said a term like, what is that?
Persistence.
Yeah, persistence. Why do you think this persistence is required as a coach?
I will
Whether
tell
you are
you,
coaching. Hmm,
yes. It needs time to bring them to the level, desired level, to
correct.
fill that gap.
So
You should not
neither
give up.
of neither of you should give up, actually.
Correct.
And most of the clients, who come to you wanted immediate results. They
Yeah.
want immediate results. In one sitting or two, they wanted to become a new them. Okay, which is not actually possible when you are going to train their mind and all those things. Okay, so it needs persistent efforts on the part of the client who is coming to you, and the persistent interventions you put in your clients, irrespective of the results. The first time you give them certain suggestions, ideas to improvise on, that may not yield results to them. It may be because of any reasons. Either your intervention should need a change, or they have not put adequate efforts as you have guided them to put. So there, either of you should not lose confidence and trust on each other. Fine. So that is one thing. Somebody said listening skills. Right now, I started seeing popping up in the chat. Who is that? Listening skills. Shruti Desai, ma'am. Okay. So we will put here as active listening. Can somebody tell me the difference between listening and active listening?
We have to ensure them that we are listening,
Okay.
empathetical listening. It is also called as empathetical listening, where we give confidence to them that we are with them.
Okay. Ma'am, 1 second, ma'am. I will address one issue of Mr. Santosh. Sir, your voice is not audible, sir, but your chat is visible to us. Visible in the sense since we are in the screen mode, I'm looking at who is talking and other things. So I have arranged my layout in such a fashion that I look the people as well as the screen. So your chat appears and disappears. That's why I am not able to respond to you and take your points up for discussion, sir. So instead
Sure.
of typing in the chat, if you could talk and if you could contribute like others interact, it would be more helpful, sir. A
No,
kind
I'm
request to you,
talking, but
sir.
I think you're not able to hear me. I mean, I made
Now,
efforts.
now we are able to hear, sir. Now we are able to hear.
Right. Am I audible?
You are
Hello?
very much audible, sir. Very much
All
audible,
right,
sir.
perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Because I tried a few times earlier and then I thought
No,
I'll let it
I
out.
thought that
Okay.
time you tried, but somebody others was talking. So probably that noise clutter,
Sure.
we would have lost you. Okay,
Sure.
sir?
No problem.
So,
No problem.
fine, sir.
Thank
Fine.
you.
Yes, ma'am. Gomati ma'am, coming to your thing, you said thing about listening, right? So it is like not only, can you come back up again, ma'am? Listening, the thing you told?
Empathetical listening.
Empathetical listening.
Whenever we are listening, so we have to understand the same perspective what they are telling. We should
Okay.
assure them that we are actively listening by saying some few words to them.
Okay.
So that's
Okay, ma'am. Can you say, most probably all of you might have heard about the T's in listening. Anybody who can explain on that? The T's in listening, which will differentiate your listening from active listening. If you want to engage yourself in empathetical and active listening, you should silent those T's. What are those T's?
Talking.
Yes, talking, very much correct. Then,
eye contact, direct.
no, it all starts with the T, ma'am. Let me put it this way. What is the spelling for listening, ma'am? How do we spell listening?
LISTN.
Sir, it is the same. Listening, listen, and silent.
I'm okay. Fine, professor. What is this? Is listening and silent? Okay, it is rearranged. But my thing here is what is the spelling for listening? It is LISTEN. Okay, listen. Okay, ING, listening. Okay, fine. But how do we pronounce actually?
With the T silent.
T silent.
With the T is silent. Okay, we don't pronounce it as listen. Okay, we pronounce it as listen. Okay, the T is silent. So you will have to keep 3 T's silent if you want to engage yourself in active listening. Okay, so 1 T is talking. Purnima ma'am has right.
Second is teaching.
Just
Teaching to be stop.
teaching. Can you explain on that, ma'am? Shall we finish up with this talking and then we will move to the next T with your
Sir,
permission?
other may be traction.
Sir, with your all permission, there is 1 T which has come, talking, which
Teaching.
is the right. Yeah. 1 second. See, there is 1 T which has come, talking. Shall we discuss on this talking? Then we will proceed on to the next T with your all permission, with all of you.
Yes.
Fine. So, how would talking stop active listening?
When
So,
you are talking, you
when
are
you are
not
talking,
listening to others.
When you're
Because
talking, when somebody is speaking in between, so then it means an obvious sign that you're not engaging yourself in active listening. Fine.
it's a one-way communication.
Okay. There is one technique in listening which is paraphrasing. Anybody in communication, English, what is paraphrasing?
Or repeating exactly what the other person said.
Elaborating something?
No, paraphrasing. I think Nikit sir is right.
The same thing, we put it in a different way.
And you will put it in your own words.
Yeah.
That is where you paraphrase something.
Paraphrasing is for confirmation. Sir Mahajan sir, you have got somebody's
same thing I wanted to say, sir. Telling the other people's what we listened in a different words, different.
Correct. And ensuring them, is that what you told us? Okay. So that is paraphrasing. We don't need to misunderstand talking and confuse talking with paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is an effective listening technique, whereas talking is, as Nikit sir lightly pointed out, when they are expressing their thoughts, when they are expressing their views, when they are expressing what is that they need actually, when they are expressing about the difficulties they face in their behavior, challenges, and all those things, please listen without talking. Once they are done, and they will give you a body language cue, I'm done. Then you can start paraphrasing and other things. Okay, talking is one key which you have to put it in silent if you want to be an active listener. Ma'am, we will go to the next thing. Others, somebody you opened up on teaching some.
Teaching should not be done. Yes.
Teaching is contributing to active listening.
What, sir?
First of all, you can make it clarify, like what is that you mean by teaching in listening actually?
Teaching is something where we always try to tell things what we wanted to tell in a particular mode, but the opposite person who is coming to us may not be in the same mode, right?
Anybody else?
Sir, I said one point. I said that's T for traction. Many times we listen, but our mind is somewhere else. So there are a lot of no other influences in our mind or maybe thoughts. So the traction, so we get deviate. We don't get 100% focus on the person talking to us.
Sir?
Sir? Can you say?
Sir, voice is breaking. Sir, voice is breaking. We are not able to hear you, sir. David, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm back.
Yes.
The voice audible, right? Sir, Professor Bolnath Datta, sir, when you started with traction and all those things, a lot of disturbances and other things, you mentioned the word thoughts. Correct, sir?
Yes, I said, Gomti ma'am said teaching, and the one T is teaching. What happens in a typical classroom, when teaching learning happens, sometimes we tell the students to come and take the position of a teacher and talk. So we can immediately we can get the feedback, whatever we are teaching, whether they are listening or not. That's a instant feedback mechanism we follow in the classroom, teaching learning. Well, my point was traction. Traction, I said, because many times while listening, our mind is somewhere else sometimes, or we worry of something else.
Yeah.
We don't get 100% focus on the person who is talking with us. Thank you, sir.
You used a word for that.
Sir, I used the word traction.
No, traction. When you started explaining traction, you said disturbances, and we think of something, and you said like.
I forgot what I said. I just kept talking.
Sir, can I interfere? Sir? Hello? Can I interfere?
Ma'am?
Sir, it is distraction, no? Distraction of mind. Because he is listening to you, but not paying attention. He is not remembering anything, but he has listened to you. It is distraction of mind.
Okay. Sir, Bolnath, sir?
Yes,
you have
sir.
said thoughts. This preoccupation of thoughts.
Yes,
when
sir.
somebody is speaking, we are preoccupied with our own things.
Yes,
But
sir.
Ruby ma'am said it is distractions. We are concerned about something else when these people are talking. Normally it happens, right?
We are tied with some preoccupied things. Tied.
Yes, actually. Background of your mind, something is going on. So when that something is going on in your mind, then you would not be able to become an active listener. So talking, thoughts. Then the third thing, ma'am. 30. 30. Anybody else? 30.
Hello, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Very much, ma'am.
Okay. Sir, temperament, sir, the mood behavior, the mood, the thoughts that varies.
Ma'am, you have come closer, ma'am. The temperament, can you put it in other word, ma'am? Like, your behavior, okay. I'm
Ganesha,
expecting
sir.
for that. Yes, ma'am. Gomadi, ma'am,
Tension.
come again. Tensions, not. Tensions will be a part of your thoughts, Something of your concern is running back of your mind. Okay, that can also be a thought. This temperament,
Tantrum in behavior.
pardon, ma'am?
Tantrums in behavior.
No. Ma'am, Binusha,
Yes,
ma'am,
ma'am.
I will
Yes,
put
sir.
your contribution in a different word.
Yes,
I
sir.
will put training.
Sir,
Don't forget.
thought processing. Sir,
One
thought
second.
processing.
Thought processing has come, ma'am. That contribution has come. Yeah, thought processing. These two words I will take and I
Yes.
will give you a single word. Please
Yes,
don't
sir.
get aback by that single word, how it is related. I will put it as training.
Okay,
So
sir.
training here is, as Ruby ma'am said, it is thought processing, and as Binu ma'am said, it is temperament of how you have trained your mind to take information. So how you have trained your mind to take information which you think is irrelevant, will you take inside for processing or not?
No, sir.
No.
If we take, then we will act
Right? You
properly
will filter.
in the right
You
manner.
will you will filter information. But in coaching,
Yes.
ma'am, even the single word they say, even these dumbest of their comments, even the dumbest of their statements can provide a meaning to
You are not audible, sir.
okay now.
Yeah.
Okay, so our brain is tuned, our brain is trained, and we have a thought processing that whatever we think is unnecessary, we would filter that and we don't give it a care to listen about that. Fine, correct? Should I come again?
So
We have trained our,
what are
yes,
the
ma'am.
3 T's, which we
The
have?
3 T's are talking, ma'am. First we have taken thoughts, ma'am. Okay, preoccupation, tensions, some other things of concern is going on behind us. Okay, ma'am. So all that I have put it as thoughts, ma'am. The third thing I have mentioned is like training, ma'am. Okay, the way we have trained our brain, ma'am. Okay, so whatever we think that it is irrelevant, whatever we think that it is making no sense, we tend to ignore that. Okay, in day-to-day work life and other things, it may sometimes help you because we cannot take into consideration all the kind of inputs that come to your mind and process, and we listen to all the things actually. Okay, in management and other psychological things, you call it as like selective perception. Okay, you only pay attention to what is that which appeals to you. That is okay. But when you assume the role of a coach, even the simplest and dumbest and awful remarks, whatever they say, it does matters and it will help you in the coaching process. So you will have to, come out of this training which you have given to your brain. So these are the 3 T's, ma'am. I'll just narrate a simple example for, shall I go ahead, sir? Nikit, sir?
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
I'll give you a simple example. Any people related to automobiles and engineering and all those things? People who are in corporates like?
Yes, I'm in corporates IT services.
Okay, right, sir. I'll post you a simple scenario to you. Okay.
Sure.
It actually happened. It actually happened.
Sure.
Others can also think of the probable, solution of this thing. This I'm telling you as an example of how even simple things said by the client. Okay. So client here, I mean the people who come to you for coaching. Okay. So
Sure.
even the simplest things or things you may think irrelevant does also matter for them. Okay, fine. There was, there was a car, there is a car model called Pontiac. You would have heard. Okay. Let us take, for example, any car. There was a customer who has bought that car. Of course, that car is a little bit costly. Okay. And there was a customer who has filed a complaint to the customer service thing. Says that every dinner we would like to we have our family dinner, and after having that family dinner, like I read it with boldness that is sir sharing. So I think all the members would be knowing, right, sir?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
No,
yes,
sir.
sir.
Anyway.
Some of the people.
Yeah, some of the people would have learned. So if the people, somebody who have learned, can you give that scenario and summarize so that it is better that somebody talk instead of me talking monotonously?
Sir, you carry on
Because I
because
read the mail sent by you. Okay, right. I sent this. I read it from the mail you sent yesterday, sir. So it just popped up in my mind, and I thought of using it here. Okay, with all your permission. Fine. So I'll cut short most of the information to make it precise. Okay. There's a car owner, and he has complained to his customer care service department, saying that we used to have dinner, and post dinner we used to go out and purchase ice creams, and whenever I go to purchase an vanilla ice cream, the car doesn't start while I come back after purchasing ice cream from the store. So,
Sir, shall I summarize the?
Yes, sir.
Audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
One
actually,
second.
it is other way around.
One second, sir. We will get you would
Yes, sir.
be ready with the answer. I just wanted to
No, I'm not
others
telling the
to,
answer. Okay, sir.
you will be telling the answer. So I just wanted others to give their opinion. Is it a serious complaint to be taken by that car company?
Could be because maybe he's parking it differently, or
I do.
the climatic conditions are different, or maybe that distance that he has to
But every day sir, his complaint is every day he's going and buying. He drives to the same store and he purchases, come back. And whenever he is purchasing vanilla ice creams alone, this problem happens. When he purchases strawberry, chocolate, and other things, this problem doesn't happen. So that is his complaint.
it may not be about the purchase, but it could be something
There
else, is
may
what I
not
think.
be any interlinking of purchasing of ice cream and not starting of the car. Maybe there may be another technical reasons, or maybe due to other reasons he has to find out.
Sir, I think maybe if the counter is different somewhere within that itself, maybe the delay that it is causing, that could be adding to that, is what I think.
There may something, sir. Instead of putting it aside, someone should be paid attention to. Something should be treated seriously.
not audible.
No, sir.
I have stopped talking.
strange issue. But actually, when they've investigated with an engineer, the investigator was for many days to know the relation. Then they found out actually generally the place where the ice creams are kept in the shop. So that is actually giving a clue. And the time taken to fetch an ice cream. Generally, vanilla being a common brand, it used to be at the near the check-in counter, checkout counter. So it get very less time to fetch that one. And even going for other flavors, they are at the back of the store, so it took more time. The car had some engine problem, something called vapor lock. Actually, that's the technical issue. So the car needs some time to cool down before it starts again. So when they go for other flavors, they took more time, so the car could get that cooling time, so that it again starts. But in case of vanilla, it took very less time to get the ice cream, so the vapor lock problem existed, so car didn't start actually. That the engineer could find out by following up for many days actually. Am I right, sir?
Very exactly, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
You,
so here we are discussing in the context that when you are engaging in active listening, please don't filter any information. Don't train your brain that this is relevant and irrelevant. Even the dumbest, awful remarks made by the client can give you greater insights later. Okay, fine. So with this contributions of you, I just go to back to my presentation to let us see some of the skills required for an coach actually. Screen is visible. I have changed my slide.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So it is all self-explanatory. So you can quickly tell before we part for break. There are 15 minutes more for our break.
So we cannot hear you.
Judgment.
David, sir, we cannot hear you.
Sir, please go ahead, sir.
David, sir, we were not able to hear you.
Yeah, not able to hear, sir.
Ma'am, it is okay now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the points we have discussed already. So just leaving out the points which has been discussed already, each one of you can take up a point. It is all self-explanatory and you can give. Wherever there is intervention required, I will step in.
Maintaining confidentiality is very, very important.
Yeah.
Because people want to trust.
One second, ma'am. Purnima, ma'am. We will start from the beginning. We will start from the left to right.
Okay.
There is a point being non-judgmental and
suspending judgment. I think here you can't judge from your perspective. Suddenly you can't give a judgmental answer. This is correct or this is wrong. So you should be able to understand from their perspective, because you cannot understand from your perspective and you can't be judgmental in the beginning or this is correct or this is wrong. So if you be judgmental, there will be a lot of bias when you are talking to the participants or when you are mentoring or coaching, because each one is different and every individual have different problems, different perspectives. That's why you can't be judgmental. You can't suspend judgment. Being non-judgmental is very important skill you need to listen and to coach and to mentor the people.
So I think I would like to go back to what you said, which was a very important point to me. Since NLP is about managing subjective experience, suspending judgment is very, very important, because it's there. Since it's my own experience, it could be big to me and it may not be big to you. So I think that's why that is very important. And I roll it back to your important point of managing subjective experience is what NLP is. I think that's why we have to stick to the basics here.
Sir, may I add one point, like being non-judgmental, it is something similar to brainstorming,
Guessing
where we,
whether their world is right or wrong. Fine, right, sir? Yes, okay. Fine. So, listening actively, we have had enough of discussions. So, we will move to the next point, questioning effectively.
Here, I think what is important is
Uh,
asking right questions as well.
Ma'am, shall we give the opportunity to somebody so that?
Yes, yes. Sorry.
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
May I, sir?
Somebody, yeah. Yes, Shruti, ma'am.
Sir, if you are able to ask proper questions and correct questions, you will get proper answers and what you need to know about that person. What
Exactly.
exactly the need of that person is. And get only
Not only understanding the need, you are trying to understand their subjective experiences. Okay. So, for that, sometimes they will not be able to express it properly. So, you should actually ask the right questions based on the initial responses they give, and that questioning ability of you should
ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಾಟ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ
somebody else challenging
if the discussion is more and when to come to a closure, to a closed ending, or maybe understanding between our two choices so that we are able to progress ahead. I think that's why questioning effectively is important so that we understand their map of their mind.
We have done with that, sir. Questioning effectively is done. We have moved to the next point. Sir, can you mute your audio, sir? Like whenever you want to talk, please open.
No, I was answering. That's why I unmuted myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise,
No, no, sir. Like the questioning effectively, we have passed from that. Challenging skillfully. Can somebody else?
Can I?
Santosh, sir? Yeah, please. Whoever it is.
Yeah, can I?
Yes, ma'am.
See, this is somehow related to questioning effectively because when we want to understand more, we ask question, but that question should not be in a tone that it other person feel that we are challenging them. So the questions which we are asking is to understand their need, but it has to be so skillful that they should not think that we are going to challenge their statement or undermine what they are saying.
Okay.
Sir, I have some
Yes,
other
sir.
way to look into this. Challenging is skillful means in coaching, when we have understood their problem or the challenges, issues, and then we want to cope up with them, then we have to skillfully challenge so that slowly and gradually they will improve. Directly putting into
Can
the
somebody be more clear? You have come to that 80%, that 20% of it is missing. Can somebody refine Sonia ma'am's and Gopal sir's answers?
doing it with the knowledge of arriving at a specificity of knowing what attitude we want to come towards. I think that's why it's challenging skillfully so that the coachee doesn't withdraw himself and still continues to be in the process. That's why we need to challenge them, not challenge them in a way beyond where it triggers undesired emotions in them.
Fine, sir. Sir Santosh, sir, can you interact with me for a minute? So we would close down on this point. So assuming,
sir.
sir, assuming that you come to me for a certain need, okay? I am the coach. Let us assume positions. I am the coach and you are the coachee, sir. So in our initial discussions, you have shared whatever information and other things and all you have shared, sir. I am just giving you an strategy to work out.
Sure.
Okay, sir. I giving you a strategy to work out. First of all, in the first place, tell me very honestly, will you accept that strategy as it is?
Maybe as a coachee, when I come in, I would want to develop that strategy myself so that it works for me, and I would need your assistance to maybe arrive at it. And if you give me 10 on 10, I might not follow 10 on 10. Maybe
you might not follow, instead of being putting the word follow, you might not agree to that 10 out of 10. Correct, sir?
Correct.
You
Perfect,
may
sir.
not agree to that 10 out of 10. When that,
Very true, sir.
when that strategy which I'm giving you, after some time, you come for the next time, has not given you 100% result. It will not give you 100% result. So what will be your immediate reaction to me, sir, when you come for the second sitting?
Right. I would be like, hello, it did not work at all for me, so I think we need to rework.
You said this will work and this is what I need to do. I have done it,
Yeah,
but it does not work at all. So
does
I
not
will
work
have
at
to
all.
find out why it doesn't work. What
Correct.
have
Oh, I
you
love this.
missed that it doesn't work? So that is
Got it.
what we call it as challenging skillfully, sir. Fine, sir.
Excellently explained, sir. Very clear. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Shall we move to the next thing? Maintaining confidentiality. It is very much pretty. Okay. We
Sir,
all,
sometimes I
yeah,
have a
yes,
doubt.
ma'am.
Sometimes we may put questions to them
Mm.
so that we make them to understand their problems by having an alternative solution by themselves. Is it right? Challenging skillfully. Hello.
Yes, also, ma'am. And you're right in that part. I will just to help them to come out with the solution. They
Yeah.
may take it in a wrong sense that why this whatever
Voice is breaking.
I seem to be losing, sir. Are you all
Yeah,
able to
no, no.
hear him
I think
clearly,
everybody.
or is it just me?
yeah,
No, nobody
Okay.
is. ev-
Nobody's
nobody is able to
here.
hear me,
No, sir.
Yeah.
We lost you in
ma'am.
between.
Now,
Now,
now I'm audible.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes. Now you are.
Okay,
Yes, yes.
right. This challenging skillfully, Gopali ma'am, what you have told, I have grasped. I'm just adding a part to it. When you ask questions and when you try to probe them so that they find the answers on themselves, these people, some of
Yeah.
the persons may not understand that the way you are asking the questions in that tone and tenor, or you may ask a repeated question again and again because you want to get a deeper understanding of it. These people may not understand that it is you are helping you to get the solutions on their own. So in that case,
Maybe.
they may not cooperate well, or they may have an inhibition like, have I come to the right coach? So
Exactly.
there also you will have to make them understand that questioning and whatever processes you have taken through them is for them to overcome. So that is also this
Again,
challenge. Yes, ma'am.
yeah.
Actually.
Again, it
Okay.
depends on the person.
Yes, actually. Okay. The confidentiality we have discussed. And can you tell me why this confidentiality is essential? Actually, we know this meaning and we know whatever somebody is letting out to us as a coach, it is practiced by doctors and therapists. Okay. So whatever is let to know, we need to keep it at ultimate confidentiality. Why this confidentiality is required?
It
What
is
it will give us
required
a
to
result?
build trust. Trust is very important.
Purnima ma'am,
Mm.
you are helping me a lot in bringing out all the answers. Like, so confidentiality, if only you keep the confidentiality and maintain a high level of confidentiality, trust will be built. Okay. And only if trust will be built, what will be the trust will result in?
Trust will result in getting more people and
Not
to
more
believe.
people. With that particular person, we will talk, ma'am.
Can
When we
build
Sir,
a,
will
there
talk
will be
about,
more sharing. There will be more
a
sharing.
rapport, sir. Can build a rapport with the person.
yeah. Binu ma'am,
Yeah.
rapport. So rapport will result in Gopal sir, your answer, sharing. Okay. See, if you maintain confidentiality, trust is built. If trust is built, a good rapport is built. If good rapport is built, you are getting more sharing and information from them. If you get more information and sharing from them, you can devise your strategies in a far better manner so that you can help out them easily. Fine, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Very clear. Thank you, Prof.
Very clear. Then the next thing, an understanding of goal setting strategies and the processes of coaching. So this is a skill required. So what is this goal setting in context of coaching actually?
What is the desirable outcome of this coaching?
Okay.
So you will
Yes.
know, you have to set the goal. What should be the outcome? How to bridge the gap? That is the goal.
Okay.
And what
Okay.
strategy you have to use? What game plan you have to use? And what
Okay.
should be the process of coaching?
Okay.
If
And
the means are good, the end will be good. End
oh,
results will be good.
okay. And also that you should also make it very clear if this goal is to be achieved, what is dash to be put? What is that dash?
Effort.
Effort. What is that effort to be put? And this code which will be achieved in this dash.
This time frame.
No, yeah, time frame, and I will put it as phases. So immediately you cannot expect me to be a bodybuilder if I'm going to sit for an fitness counseling to someone. My ultimate goal may be that. My ultimate goal may be that, but in the first phase, I should not expect that. First is weight reduction, then a healthy diet and balanced diet, then exercising, then I can become a bodybuilder or a muscle toner, whatever I want to become. So that is the ultimate. So you should make it clear to your clients. If you do this efforts, this will be the outcome. And this is the time frame, provided you put all these efforts. And if you are prolonging your efforts, this is the time frame it will take. Okay, na? So that the client knows what exactly to expect from you, and you also know how the client is exactly progressing. Okay, I'll move to the next thing. 1 second, I have lost the sharing of my slide. Just give me a moment, I'll come back. I mean, if there are any conversations to go on, please carry on. I'll stop sharing my screen and I would come out with a new screen actually. Kindly excuse for the technical glitches in between. I'm in a small town actually. Satyamangalam itself is a small town. So,
No problem, sir. We understand.
Yeah, it's a complete lockdown here actually. So, fine. So, okay. Has the screen changed?
Yes.
We can see the
Yes.
next slide. Next
Yeah.
slide we can see.
Yeah, you can see the next slide. So, holding the client to account. What does it mean? holding the
Accountability of the actions.
responsibility of their
Actions.
actions. Exactly, sir. So you should also hold the client accountable. You should make them understand that it is not the one person contributory process. It's a two-person contributory process. See, as a coach, I give you methods, I give you strategies, I give you certain inputs to improve on. But if only you practice that, we will get the desired outcomes. If you are not practicing that, then you may not get the desired results. So most of the time the problem is the clients will try to put the blame on us, saying that you said this, and at the beginning of the session you said if I do this, and I will be able to become this, but it is not happening. Why? They will forget that you would have said this desired outcomes will come, but you would also have said what is the contribution they will have to make, and to in order to achieve that desired outcome. Let us say that a simple thing, diabetic, when you are going to cure diabetic with the doctor would prescribe you some food style. So only if you follow the food style and keep you away of this sugar and other things, then your blood glucose levels are supposed to come down. Without doing that, how can you hold responsible the doctor for your blood glucose levels not coming down? Right? So you should also hold your clients accountable, and that is what this challenge skillfully also comes. Fine. Then finally, rapport building we have discussed in length. Okay. So can somebody read the last part of the quotation I have given here?
An excellent coach. That one, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
An
Exactly.
excellent coach starts with a belief that the client has all the resources that they require, and the coach believes totally in them.
Okay. So, as an excellent coach, you should believe whatever the client's desired outcomes is, they have the resources to get that. And what is your role, ma'am? To make the best use of that resources so that you can bring in the desired outcomes. This kind of skill set and mindset is required to be an effective coach, actually. Fine. I think it is 1 hour 15 minutes since we started this. Shall we take a break like yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So 10-minute break. By 4:30 we will resume. It's 4:20 by my watch. 4:30 we will resume. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you all. Some of them said they have not yet heard their lunch, so that
No.
I thought of giving a 15-minute break today instead of 10 minutes.
Yes, yes, perfectly fine.
Okay, fine. So,
Yes, sir.
please,
I'm here only. I'm here.
Ravi ma'am, where you
Ruby
like,
ma'am.
ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
I'm here.
Good, ma'am,
No,
good.
ma'am, not it, ma'am. Like, okay, it's a reflection. Okay, so you can later do it. For the time being, just each one of you look at the later part of it. Actually, there is something called list of occasions where you have maintained confidentiality, where you have demonstrated a non-judgmental approach, where you have believed in someone and where you have listened to someone. So each one of you can pick up and share any one occasion where you have exhibited any one of this. Well, let us be very specific. Let us take only 5 minutes and then we will proceed further. Later, you rate yourself on each of the scale from 1 to 10, do a honest rating, do a self introspective rating. Then you see where you lack and what are the methods you can improve to gain that particular skill or improvise on particular skill. Fine. So shall we take 2 minutes and we will start discussing on this? Uh, Anybody can come up where you have maintained confidentiality. You can just be precise to that situation alone.
I will talk about maintained confidentiality.
Yes, ma'am.
I was mentoring a student, a group of students. There was one mentee. He had a problem of eating gutka, and he wanted to come out. And he wanted me to mentor him, help him to come out of this bad habit. Then he used to come once in a week, and we used to talk, and I used to tell him how to come out of it, how he can be mentally strong, how he has developed that habit, why, when he wants to eat. Over a period of time, he came out of this, and he didn't want me not to tell other students that I was mentoring on that particular issue. So I maintained the confidentiality, and he was very happy. And later on, he bought his father also, and his father was very happy. But they wanted to keep me very confidential because they didn't want that I was mentoring him on that. So I don't know why, but they wanted me not to tell others. I told him, "Don't worry, I will not tell others." So
Okay.
I didn't tell anybody that he was having that bad habit.
That's to the bullseye. Thank you, Purnima ma'am.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else on where you have demonstrated a non-judgmental approach?
Yes, sir.
May I, sir?
Yeah, please, sir.
Yeah, sir, it happened. It's almost 7 months ago. I met a guy who is a mostly a drug addict, and he eventually come in my contact. And he was his morale was very low, and he was very guilty. And I listened to him without having any judgment about his past and his present. And the best part of it, I have listened him very much, and I have a firm belief that he will overcome it. And eventually, he is now away from all these addictions.
Thank you all, sir. Like, just tell us, sir, like, if you would have approached with him a gentle approach, he has a deep-rooted addictions.
So voice is breaking.
You,
So your voice is cracking.
is it okay, sir? Okay now? Is it okay now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. Sir, Gopal sir, from your
Sir, again, voice is breaking.
Had you keep on saying a particular word, I will start saying your name. Whenever you are clear to hear, let me know, sir, so that from that I will continue. Gopal, sir. Gopal, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Right. Okay. So if you had approached a judgmental approach, sir, like he
Okay.
had his past and his morale was low and everything was kind of this thing, how would he come out of it? If you had gone for that kind of approach, do you think you would have reaped the results you have reached, sir?
No, sir. Because
No,
then,
right?
yeah, if I was judgmental, then my approach would be very much different.
Very
Maybe,
much different.
yes.
The lack of efforts you will efforts kind of efforts you will put will be totally different, the
Yes, sir.
magnanimity of the efforts and the magnitude of the efforts. When you have someone that they can do it and come out of it, or they can achieve it. Anybody else on
Yes,
that
sir,
note?
I can speak.
Yes,
Can I speak, sir?
please, ma'am.
Yes, I am working for Yarwada Jail, Pune, and there I could find someone who was not supported by the family, and parents had expired in an accident, and this boy was juvenile, and he had just passed out 11th and was in 12th. And then we could mentor him and asked him that why you have come here, what happened. Then he said ki my home people who are not my relatives, they are misusing my presence, and they wanted me to do something wrong. Then we mentored him and counseled him, and he said, if you are interested in further studies, we will put you back to the college and you study, and what are your interests. Then he said ki ma'am, I would like to study hotel management if I am supported by you. So we said, okay, you complete your 12th first, and then we will see that you do hotel management. And we contributed and put him in hotel management course, and then he studied and got campus placement in J Marriott. J Marriott is a 5-star hotel, and there he could get an opportunity to meet foreigners, and foreigners picked him up and taken him to Switzerland. But when the opportunity came for passport, that time he was caught. And then we entered and helped him out to get passport from the commissioner of police. And then we gave him certificate which was certifying his character is okay, and he is now a perfect person, as if he is come back to the society with no stabs on his character. And we put him back to the society after giving him all this support, and now he is in Switzerland settled, sir.
Okay, ma'am. That's great, ma'am. Okay,
Further no contacts. Further no contacts with him. No.
okay, fine. Gomadi, ma'am, you was about to tell something. Listen to someone. I think you
Nice,
wanted
nice
to. Yeah.
example Ruby madam has shared. I was feeling.
Okay, fine. I think
Thank you, ma'am.
if we can give her a round of applause, also we can give. Gomadi ma'am,
Yeah, good.
Oh, sir. Thank you so much. God bless.
Purnima ma'am, all those.
Yes, sir.
Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank
Fine.
you.
Thank you, Ruby madam. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
This boy is
Ma'am,
settled now in
finally.
Switzerland. Yes.
Okay. Finally, when you had listened to someone, listen effectively without any filters and other things, any occasion, somebody could share finally?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
sir, I
Maharajan,
can
sir.
give an occasion which actually covers all this and
Yes.
listen to all listening also, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, I'm audible, sir.
We are listening, sir.
Yes, sir. Good, sir. Actually, there was a student. There was an online exam. Student they have to submit answer, write the answers, and scan and submit. Actually, I suspected different handwritings in one student's answer script. Yes, I know something graphology. Actually, I studied graphology. I clearly, it was to me so convincing that these are two different handwritings. Sir. So what I did, still I maintained confidentiality of it. Then I just withheld the results and informed the student. Your result is withheld. Okay, sir. And that student actually happened to meet me again face to face. I didn't do, even though I can read people's handwriting, I didn't go for a non-judgmental approach. I was non-judgmental because without knowing the facts, I should not judge. Without listening to the other side, I should not make a judgment. So I believed in it. The student said it's her own handwriting. Actually, I believed it. Then I called the student. I gave her a paper to write. I wanted her to write both the different styles of handwriting just in front of me. She was able to write. Actually, what happened? She was practicing calligraphy. It is her asset, something different skills. She was able to write in different handwriting. If she was practicing that, is her skills actually. So it was, wrong on my part. But I was taking a non-judgmental approach, and I believed in the student. And then I listened also to carefully, and actually I established the facts. That's what it's the same handwriting. It's not malpractice. So that way, I maintained confidentiality also, not judgmental also, believed in the student also, listened to the students also patiently, sir. And that was a good decision I made.
Great, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So, having reflected on what are all the various skills required for an effective coach, now we will go back to our understanding and okay. So today I will not take that extra 10 minutes. I will close sharp. Okay. The screen is changed. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Any one of you, without making much time, it is 4:41 actually. Till 4:45 we can have this discussion. As a coach, what do you think is the right venue for conducting these sessions, interactions with your clients?
Complete private environment.
Okay.
Or a nature's
Sir,
environment.
positive mindset should be there. Positive mindset should be there that we are going to learn NLP.
Okay. I'm not asking about prerequisites as Nikit sir told. The place should be an complete silent, calm place actually. So in the terms of venue, you can tell.
Privacy should be maintained, sir.
Okay.
Free from
That again,
disturbance.
free from all these are revolving around Nikit Pujaria sir's answer. Like I'm asking an venue like I'm not asking about the characteristics of the venue.
Ambience should be
Calm and peaceful place. Calm and peaceful place.
And
Okay.
it is very close to nature, sir. Nature.
Very close to nature. Okay. Let me put you a question. Okay. A person comes to you for alcoholic addiction. Let us assume. Okay. Let us assume. Okay. So he wanted to meet you in the bar where he used to take drinks actually. Okay. So that he can be more comfortable there than any other places or coming to your place. As a coach, can you go there and have the session with him there? Initial meeting. It is the first time you are going to meet the client. So you have not met in person. It is over a phone call he has fixed and he has said, I have this alcoholic addiction and all those things. So I used to go to this particular place every day evening. So can you meet me up there? Is it wrong on the part of the coach to go there?
Yes, sir. It's wrong.
Yes, sir, wrong.
Yes. I told you don't
Yes,
give
sir,
me
wrong place.
Wrong place.
Okay.
No,
Don't give me ideal answers, honest answers.
no, it cannot be wrong because you also get to understand his side of things and the reason why he's calling you there. It could
Come
be
on.
uh, he wants your help to kind of take him away from there.
Correct. What is that benefit you get, sir, when you go to the place when he where he drinks and all those things?
Sir, I
You
think
understand his psyche behind him going there.
Why he's thing and why he is drinking, what is that he's drinking,
Correct.
the amount he is drinking, and whether
Correct.
he is an habitual drinker or he drinks out of stress or he just drinks it for happiness or whatever it is. Purnima ma'am, you are about to tell something.
yes, sir. He may be comfortable in that environment to answer the
In the
questions.
environment, okay. Gopal Latwal sir, you unmuted and you want.
Yes, sir. Maybe, sir, it will help us to build the rapport also.
Okay,
Because if the
so
person feel comfortable, he will share more.
No, sir, I
okay.
don't agree. I don't agree. But I never visited bar in my life. And if you are calling me to the
You
bar for discussion, I will not come. Whether I am
that
coach or
is
I
up
am a
to.
prime minister, I will not
Okay,
come to the
that
bar
is
because I have never
that is
visited bar.
okay, ma'am. That is up to your own. Then you can ignore that claim, ma'am. But the point here to understand is, ma'am, like there is no hard and fast rule for describing a venue for sitting for this session. As far as both of you are comfortable sharing, mutually sharing, you know, uh, you can. But if your personal values and personal philosophical systems stops you from going there, then you should not accept him as a client. But once you have decided to be his client, I mean to be his coach, you also need to travel with him, and there is a caution actually. This traveling doesn't mean that he takes over you. You just go in his path and you take over him. So you meet him for the first time. If he demands so, next time it should not happen. Second, third time, fourth time, if it is happening, then that is totally wrong. Correct, sir? Nikit Pujaria sir and other people who said yes, we can go ahead if
Yes, sir.
he demands a meeting.
Yes,
First
sir.
time you go, there is no wrong. But
Yeah.
the second time, third time, you should, very politely and very calmly try to pull him to your place of convenience. Okay, try to get him out of that. Fine, ma'am. Okay, and Ruby ma'am and Gomadi ma'am, it's your own personal decision, ma'am. But this is the hard and fast rule
Yes,
rule
sir.
of yeah,
Yes,
yes,
sir.
ma'am. So it is on
I agree
personal
with you.
views. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
sir,
it
I
is
agree
your
with you.
yeah, fine, ma'am. So there is no like hard and fast rule in selecting a venue as far as you both are comfortable in mutual sharing and other things. And see to that the environment doesn't disturb. Say, for example, sir, if it is the fifth sitting, you are sitting with him to get him out of this alcoholic addiction, till he prefers to be in the bar. Is it now right? Exactly wrong. Then that is, what does that mean? He is not taking any efforts to leave his come out of his habits. That you should say a plain no. Unless you come to my place, this coaching cannot continue further. Fine, that's right.
Another thing, sir, shall I
Yes,
share?
ma'am.
One
Please, ma'am.
first time when we encourage the client to meet in the bar, the next time also he may expect to continue there. That is also another issue. So
Yes,
let
ma'am.
us be clear about in the beginning itself that we will
Uh,
choose a comfortable place.
I have a slightly different opinion on this, ma'am. What you say is exactly right. It's the normal human tendency and psychology. The first time you give up, then you also know. Second time, on third time, he would also call it. But there is one thing, ma'am. We would discuss that when we discuss about the presuppositions of NLP. I will address this point there, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank
So
you.
fine, ma'am. Okay. Shall we move on to the next thing? Fine.
Yes, sir.
So now let's begin with the stepping stones of NLP. So far we have had the understanding of NLP, and we also had the uh, flair of becoming coach and what it takes to become a coach and all those things. Now we will go ahead with the stepping stones. Okay, I showed you a particular presentation slide with the person and the three terminologies, and I said we would come back later for that discussion. Anybody remember what is that slide and what is the terms we agreed upon to discuss later? There are three keywords in that slide. I told you this is the different dimension of NLP, and we will discuss it later, and we will revisit it later.
Attitude, modeling,
Yeah, attitude, then modeling, and finally techniques. Okay,
techniques.
so we will get into it right now. So this is one of the popular person who has made NLP, open to everybody and widely practiced it. Because before then, NLP was highly practiced by this clinical psychologist. And yesterday somebody said clinical psychologist. I didn't want to disagree and put a stop because the flow we are not supposed to engage ourselves in therapy.
Sir,
Any
your voice is
differences?
breaking. Voice is breaking, sir.
Now is it okay for all of you, or for all it is breaking?
Now it is audible, sir.
Okay. So we as an NLP coach, we are not to practice therapy. So what is the difference between a therapist and an NLP coach actually? Yes, Shruti ma'am. Your voice is too low actually.
A therapist uses a typical way of treating any problem, a stereotype remedy, and an NLP coach tries all what he can do.
That
All
is
the
also
things.
okay. Okay, that is one dimension of it. Very, like a
I
simple
feel
difference. Yes, sir. Santosh, sir.
Yeah, sir, I feel therapist is like a doctor. You go to a problem, he tells you, listening to your problem, do this, 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 this. However, an NLP coach is a collaborator who puts you through a path where you will do things in your subjective way. So I think that's the
Exactly,
difference.
sir. Exactly, sir. So therapist treats with methods backed by medicines also, prescriptions and medicines. Okay, we are not supposed to prescribe anything to our clients as medicines. We are supposed to prescribe only methods, ways, and means out. We are prescribed to strategies. We are prescribed to help them, not prescribe any medicines.
Yes, it's
So,
like, sir, guidance, and maybe we are helping them in developing their objectives,
yes,
clear
actually. So,
objectives.
see, what is at the core of NLP? We discussed yesterday, right? It's all about this programming. It's all about the linguistic programming. You process information. How do I process that information so that I achieve the desired outcome? So all your intervention should be on how do they process and how do they achieve the desired outcome through the methods, practices, patience, and persistent efforts, not through prescriptions. So Being an NLP certified course doesn't mean that you can prescribe medicines to them. That we are not supposed to do it. Okay. So earlier, this NLP understood only side effects. Enter this
Your voice is breaking, sir.
is also fine. So that is the thing here. So he said NLP like attitude modeling and techniques. We will discuss one by one. This we will call it as NLP attitude, the attitude required for NLP. Okay. So can anyone just tell what is attitude actually?
Outlook towards certain things.
Outlook, yeah, outlook certain towards certain things. Any
The
other
way,
definitions coming on?
the way,
Perception. Perception.
No.
the way in which a person expresses his behavior.
Sir, it is a
What did you,
fixed.
ma'am? Can you come again?
The way in which a person expresses his behavior out.
The way in which a person expresses his behavior out. Okay. Sir, Gopal sir.
Sir, it is moreover a fixed disposition, means every time it is our fixed behavior pattern.
Okay, fine. So these are all the general definitions of attitude, and every definition is correct. Okay. Only thing is the perception, actually, ma'am. Perception is like it is the base for developing attitude, ma'am. Okay, Purnima, ma'am. I think you will agree with that. Perception is how we give a meaning to things and how we select things. And attitude is more upon developing a behavior based upon our perceptions. So that is where it is different. Now, having understood that general concept of attitude, what is attitude we mean by in context of NLP? Please don't ignore the term being positive and positive attitude. We are not talking about being positive and positive attitude, which nevertheless is an essential trait for an NLP coach, and which is very much basic actually, being positive and positive attitude. But here, in the context of NLP, there are certain forms of attitude we expect actually. So, can anyone redefine attitude in the context of neuro linguistic program?
Maybe my mental make is my attitude, and which is again basis my, like the way you told us before, my worldview, my values, my
Your
experiences.
worldview.
Because,
So, how should be your worldview actually? You gave me
uh,
the lead actually. So, how should be your worldview in case if you are into this practice of NLP and into coaching as a life coach?
okay, my worldview needs to be objective, which objective, of course, because you told us not to be subjective. And second, I think our worldview needs to be which anything that reaches us to in control productive behavior. I think that's the
Okay.
word terminology that you used, in control as a behavior, and also
Okay.
to be productive. And that's what I think.
Anybody else?
Balanced in our thoughts, balanced in
Balanced in
seeing,
our
seeing everything.
thoughts. Okay. So that is what he also told. In control. Actually, I'm in control. Anybody else? Okay.
Sir,
Can I say?
individual, how they react. Like, suppose every person's behavior is different.
Can
So,
I
the
say?
way of thinking is also different.
Okay. I think Boldat sir has got
Yes, sir.
something to say.
Yes, sir. I think as a life coach, first of all, we should not have any preoccupied disposition, in the sense we should not carry any baggage like of any
Okay.
past encounter with
Mm,
anybody in our life during the
mm,
process of coaching or counseling, whatever. We
okay.
should set our mind free, and
Mm,
each case is a unique case. We should be able to listen them thoroughly and then come out and then give the helping hand. I think that's very important. Most of the times what happens, even in our interpersonal communication or when we communicate, our experiences play critical role. Now the bigger challenge will be, can we separate our life experiences from the next encounter? I'll give a simple example. Like, I've given money to so many people, and there are many people, those who have not returned. Whether I'll be able to lend money to a new person who is coming with genuine problem. Can I separate myself with my past experiences? I think that is very, very critical. Thank you, sir.
Sir, you have given an overall view about the attitude. Here, we are confining the definition of attitude to the kind of attitude you need to possess if you want to practice NLP and if you want to be a life coach in NLP. I'll quickly take you to that particular portion, actually. I have put a simple question. Okay, if somebody is presenting you with this toy car, which is a gift you have.
Sir, voice is breaking, sir.
If okay now?
Now, okay, sir.
Okay. If somebody is presenting you with a toy car, okay, not exactly this one, you assume any kind of toy car is being presented to you as a gift. And, what will you do with that?
No, first of
can I say? Keep it in our house, in a showcase or something in the remembrance of that person.
You keep it in our house. Okay. Please avoid the answer of giving it to your child because, it is a gift which is given to you in remembrance of a particular person and they have regarded you. So either you will keep it in your house in the showcase or what else you will do? You will be keeping it in your office table as a remembrance, whatever it is. Okay. My now question is, if the same toy car is presented to children who are at their young age, okay, as a gift from you, what will they do actually?
Play. They will play.
They'll play.
They will play. They will play for how much hours? I have put the term hours because they will not keep it for a long time. Okay, they'll play for hours. After that playing thing is done, what they will do actually?
Throw it away aside.
Can throw it away outside. Before they throw it away aside,
dismantle it and they will see what is there. Means my kid did that. After half an hour, maybe after 1 hour, they want to see how that particular car functions.
Correct. Exactly, ma'am. Say they will play it for an hour before they are, it is a new thing given to them. So definitely they'll play it for some time. Even they will play it for 1 day or 2. It depends on the age and the personality of the child. And after that, they will abandon them and they will look for a new gift. And before that, this will normally happen. They will open it. They will try to open it. How it functions, what is inside it, everything they will be eager to know. This is the kind of first kind of attitude which is expected in any NLP practitioner or NLP coach. Now, can you term this attitude? What is this attitude actually?
Curiosity.
Exactly. Curiosity is the attitude. So what you should be curious about, it's a childlike curiosity. And what you should be curious about? What you should be curious about?
about what the person needs from us.
About what the person needs from us. Not only that,
What
I
he is
have
going
not
through, sir. What he is going through.
what he is going through. Then I have not heard of such instances in my life. Will that happen? Why it happens to some people? I have not encountered such incidences in my life, like he says. So why is that happening to them? What is that? Is it really happening in the world around us? Why is it happening? What is happening? Okay, a curiosity to know. In OBE HRM, where we teach in motivation, there is a term called curiosity motivation. The motivation to know new things, the motivation to learn new things, the motivation to learn new things, as well as why it happens, and what will be the result, all those things, right? We have taught in our syllabus, right? Curiosity motive. Okay, so that is the kind of attitude is required in place number one. The first attitude required for an NLP coach as well as a practitioner for you is this curiosity. But this curiosity doesn't mean that, uh, one second, I have middled something with the. Just give me a second, one second. In a desire to know everything and learn new things, this should not happen to you as an NLP practitioner or coach. Somebody? My voice is audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, it can be
Yes, sir.
like we are here to provide a solution. So whatever the problem is, that only should be discussed, not
Okay.
other things.
So your curiosity,
In addition
yeah,
to
yes, ma'am.
unwanted
Unwanted
things
things.
need not be poked in.
Okay. Ma'am, may I ask you a question? It's an open question to all of you. Anybody can answer. Most of you would have read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Stephen.
Yes.
Stephen. Okay. Okay. In that, while talking about attitude, he has presented a model. I will give you a clue: AOC and AOI. What is that model, ma'am? AOC and AOI. That will help you to have a clear distinction between what is the curiosity you should exhibit and what is that you should not focus on, so that it become poking into everything.
Circle of
Because when you
influence and
poke
circle
into
of concern, is that it?
yeah,
Some
exactly, sir. Exactly, exactly. It is area of concern and area of
control,
influence, actually.
influence and
Influence.
See,
Influence.
fine, fine. Area of concern, influence, and control. So you have this curiosity motive only for those things which comes under your areas of concern, not beyond that. Fine, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So if something is beyond your area of concern, either as a NLP practitioner or as a coach, not only for this thing, in general, in your personal life, it's something of no importance and concern to you, why do you wanted to know about that? Why do you wanted to spend your time, efforts in knowing about that? What will be the greatest use you would be having on that? Okay, so we all agree on this. Shall we move to the next attitude? Actually, fine,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
right. Which is expected from an experimentation. So, what is that kind of experimentation we look at here? What is that kind of experimentation we look at here? Willingness to discover. So what is that we are discovering? How do you fail as how do you fail as a NLP coach? Why do you
Yes,
fail
sir.
as a dissect the reasons of how you have? Yes, ma'am. Ruby, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Here we are experimenting that one person who is gone out of his proper pathway, he is gone out of that. We have to bring him back to the original pathway by counseling, mentoring him, and we can do experimentation on that. Why he has gone, how he has gone, and we have to counsel him and ask him what happened in detail so that he comes back to his original pathway and comes back to the society as a normal human being.
Yeah, that is what I was also saying. First of all, before you experiment on why your client, the person whom you are dealing with, has failed and how he has failed, first of all, you try to discover for yourself why you have failed as an NLP practitioner and why you have failed as an NLP coach. How did you fail as an NLP practitioner? How did you fail as an NLP coach? Then try to work on it. And then, as Ruby ma'am told, the same experimentation is also applicable to your clients when you are
Yes,
practicing
sir.
this
Thank
NLP.
you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
both as a coach. Okay. The third attitude is bit complex to understand, but I think we are the intellectual crowd. I mean, I'm not including myself. You are an intellectual crowd, so you can easily dissect on this. Okay, just give me a second. It's like taking lot of hanging issues because of the connectivity. Okay. Okay. What do you see in this image?
A female photograph.
From light to
Okay,
dark.
female from light to dark.
Okay, off
Do you
off
see it?
face off face is seen.
Okay. Do you see it every time? I'm asking
Yes,
you.
sir.
The video is looping, right? The video is
Yes,
looping.
yes.
Yes, sir.
Now you look at. There will be sometimes the screen will be totally blank, and there will be sometimes the image of that female character will be exposed, and there will be sometime again it goes off. You are looking at it. Now you look at it. Now the screen is totally black. Now she starts appearing. She stands around, goes back. Black starts appearing, turn around, go back. Can you identify this pattern? All of you? Can
Yes,
all
we can
identify
identify.
this pattern?
Yes,
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 sir.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So,
sir.
yes, so very well said.
okay.
Thoughts come
So,
and go.
no,
Your
no, no.
thoughts will
No,
come for
yeah,
positive way, negative way. You turn around and
no,
go back.
that is not what I'm trying to explain with this actually. But what you have said is right. I am trying to explain a thing called acting as if. Which is this acting as if. Okay, right. Have you ever in your life, got frightened for a small fix of stick or a small piece of rope for some insects or snakes? It would have happened, right? Have you ever been afraid of certain shadows when there is power cut? Most of us would have experienced, right?
Yes, sir.
Imagine when you're walking alone in a road, okay, at the mid of the night, okay, you see some dogs on the road which are lying by the side of the road. After you have crossed the road, after you have crossed the dogs, have you turned behind and see to have a look whether those dogs are trying to stand up and walk with you or chase you? Most of us have got any one of these experiences, correct?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yes,
definitely.
actually.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
Prakash, I
sir.
think I've tried to act as if nothing is bothering and I'm
ah,
walking, but
no,
I actually look at the shadows. Are they
ah,
following me?
okay. So we
Yes,
are.
sir. It is natural. It is
It
natural
is
with everybody.
no, it is not a debate. Actually, I agree. It is
No, sir.
natural.
See, it is natural, but sometimes you observe, sometimes you ignore.
Okay.
Sometimes you
Uh,
observe and keep it in mind. Sometimes you
fine.
ignore. Since you are
We will.
asking, to I am saying yes, sir. है ना?
Yes, ma'am. It
If
is.
you had not asked me, I would not have remembered also.
You
It is like
would
that.
not have remembered. Also, it is good that you
Ah,
remembered. We are not taking it for how do you process this information, whether it is true or not. My point.
yes, sir, I understood that we are walking and on the roadside, dogs are sleeping, lying down, and we when we cross them, and then we suddenly look back to see whether they are following us or not, or whether they are
Yeah.
got up or not. It is
Such
natural.
experience. Yeah, it is natural, ma'am. I'm not I'm not counter arguing with you. I'm just taking all your information from. Okay, fine. Now you think of this thing, you are alone at home. When you hear some noises, immediately what you will think, like you
Fear.
hear some fear. Okay, you will go and check whether the doors and
Yes.
windows are properly locked and other things. Okay, that sound maybe because of some billy or kutte, like
Maybe.
maybe, right? So we tend to act without information as if there is information, right? Correct, ma'am? We tend to act
Yes, sir.
without information as if there is information. Fine. We presume small piece of ropes for snakes. We presume some noises happening elsewhere as something which is a break-in into our house. The dogs may stand up and follow you because they may sometimes be scared of us.
Sir, more than perception, even our imagination also, sir.
Imagination. See, that is what. So that is imagination actually. So most of the time, I have experience like I go when I see a dog in front, I take a hold, assuming that the dog will, do something harm to me. But that dog will be feared of me, and that will go. Once after it goes, I go. So the point here is we act without information. We act as if there is information. Okay, these are all some
Sir,
of the.
can we say it is phobia? Can we term it as
No, no,
phobia?
no. We can term it as phobia, but phobia is something deeper, ma'am. It is not like, if you have got a phobia of dogs, you would not even cross the dogs. That phobia is to a
Yes, sir.
deeper level, ma'am. Okay, so that is
Okay, sir.
phobia. Okay. It will, you can say it, phobia is a very serious stage actually. Okay, even if you see a image of a dog, you will be scared. So that is the kind of phobia. Okay, fine, ma'am. So the point here is like we act as if there is information, even if there is no information. This kind of attitude is required. So far, we have discussed certain, what you call, in our terms, I've now have the fear to use the word undesirable. Okay, you give me an appropriate word. So far we have discussed certain occasions which are not that so related to our discussion. Okay, fine. In the same aspect, this acting as if attitude should help you to proceed positively. What all we have discussed now is an negative outcome. Negative outcome in the sense that something is not happening, we assume that it is happening. Fine, ma'am. So we are fearing that it may happen. Okay. So why don't you acting as if information for a positive outcome? Can it be provided or not? When acting as if without information applies for some behavior which elicits some sort of fear, doubtfulness, or something like that, can acting as if without information elicit positive responses or not? My question is clear?
Yes, sir.
You are afraid of dogs, whether it will chase, so you are having a double check. You hear a noise and you doubt it to be a break-in into your house, so you check the doors and windows are properly locked. Okay, so all this thing, we are acting as if there is no reality in that. Okay, we are acting as if there is certain information to which results in some pain or to a mild level of phobia. Okay, fine. If that is applicable for a negative response, will that be applicable for a positive response also? Yes, it will be possible.
Yes.
I'll give you a very simple example. Look at the image. Have you watched it? That video which is looping at your right side?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what does it say actually? Imagine you are driving in a heavy rain, driving in a car during an occasion where there is heavy rain, okay? Or you may take it like fog or something like that. And if you are in Delhi, you can take it like smog, okay? Right. Now answer my question very properly. When you are driving in a heavy rain, fog, or smog, what will be the visibility level?
Not clear. You will be using your wipers. You will be using your wipers.
Okay. Can you
Maybe
say it
sometimes
in
few
Not
meters.
clear.
yeah, few meters? Okay, your visibility level in distance will be only few meters, depending on the intensity of the rain or fog or the smog. Okay, so that few meters, can you give me a number, sir? If it is intense or some moderate fog or something like that, let us say like 5 to 10 meters is visible.
Yes, sir. 10 meters.
5 to 10 meters visible.
Yeah.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you sure?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure what is lying beyond that 10 meters?
So we will come to know when we will reach this 10 meter, cover 10 meter, then again we will see to the next 10 meter.
That's
We
the
do not
solution.
know, sir.
Just the question is like, will you be able to be sure what
No, sir.
lies beyond that 10 meter? No.
No, sir. No, not at all.
No, sir. No.
But we proceed as Gopal sir said. After reaching the 10 meter, I will come to know what is there between the next 10 meter. Correct?
Yes.
Correct, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Sir, Gopal sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
After reaching the 10 meter, then I will come to know what is there in the next 10 meter.
Yes, sir.
Now, I will not
Yes,
be
sir.
able
Yes,
to
sir.
know what is there in the 30th meter. But after covering
Yes,
these
sir.
20 meters, I will come to know what is in the 30th meter. Just if I proceed as if, okay, if I proceed like this, will I be able to reach my destination?
Definitely.
Definitely you will reach your destination. Okay, so your house may be some what you call, let me assume some 250 meters or 350 1 kilometer away. Okay, so you are not sure the about what is the condition in the destination you are about to reach, but you know that you can take certain what you call incremental steps so that you will be sure that you will be reaching your house. So you don't have the intention of back at mind, your ultimate intention is driving to your house. But how do you travel that path to your house? 10 meters, 10 meters, 10 meters, 10 meters, 10 meters. You will be able to reach your house, right? So This is one kind of attitude which is required for an NLP practitioner to bring about something called generative change. So what is this generative change? People who have studied about types of change, OB people, organizational development people, HR, what is this generative change? Quick, we have got just
gradual or step by step.
Gradual or step by step, or we initiate gradual step by step or initiation from our part. The change is not happening automatically. The change is not happening automatically. There is a heavy downpour of rain. After a few days, it will dry off. Correct? So it is a change which is automatic. There is a snowfall in the winter. When summer comes, the snowfall will automatically stop. A change which happens automatically. Generative changes we will have to initiate, and that too, as you rightly said, gradually, step to step. So that is, yeah. So this generative change, you cannot proceed either if you are practicing NLP or you are practicing as a life coach when you operate in total uncertainty. In NLP, it is only total uncertainty only, correct? When a person comes to you for coaching or you practicing NLP, we are not sure whether we will be able to achieve the results he desires or we desire. Correct or wrong? Correct or wrong?
But we should be able to fulfill for the purpose.
We should be able to fulfill. That is okay. I'm coming to that. We should be able to fulfill. That is why we are talking about this attitude. But we are not sure whether that results will come or not.
Yeah, initially.
Initially, even in the mid stages, you will not be very sure. Only at the end stages, sometimes you will come to know the desired outcomes will happen, or you will be sure enough the desired outcome will not happen in the way he wanted, but in an altered way, or in the worst cases, you will come to understand the desired outcomes may not happen at all. Right? I'll make it clear again. Okay. Now let us take a simple example. A person is coming to you for, let us take all stress. He is what you call short-tempered. Okay. So he is asking you for certain counseling or whatever intervention strategies. Okay. So you start providing him face by face, sitting by sitting. By the due course, by the initial stage, you will not know whether you will be able to get him out of his short-temperedness. Fine. Yeah. But at the mid stage, you will know how he is proceeding, and based on the self-evaluation of your own methods that you are adapting to him, you will come to know to what level he will be able to come out of his short-temperedness, or he will not be able to fully come out of his short-temperedness, but if he does certain things, he will be able to have a overall control over. Can you guess? But at the initial stage, you will be in total uncertainty, correct? You will not yourself know which strategies and policies you are going to work to him, intervention strategies that you are going to administer to him will work or not. Because NLP, there will not be a single technique which will work. First, you adapt a technique, get to know the feedback. Then if it is working well, you will proceed on that. If it is not working well, you will try to understand why it is not working well, try to rectify that. If you are not also able to rectify that, then you change the intervention strategy. Like doctors change our course of medicine, right? Normally, when we go for certain diagnosis, he will tell, for 1 week, take this. If you are recovered, okay. If you are not recovered, come back and see me again. I will give you a different treatment. Correct? So similarly, you will work out with different intervention strategies in a total uncertainty. Okay. And then you will test. But you should also strongly believe that there is nothing called total certainty. What is total certainty? I adapt this method and he will be able to attain the fullest results. You will not be able to judge it during the beginning of our sessions you handle with them, or beginning of your NLP practitioner program you are taking. There is nothing called total certainty. And because there is no total certainty, that should not stop you from practicing NLP, neither coaching NLP. That is the point for acting as it. Clear? Very clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. What about others?
Yes, very clear.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir, clear. Clear, sir.
Clear, sir.
Sir, Datta sir, I am not taking any more additional minutes since it is a Sunday.
Okay,
And,
all right.
I'm closing closing at this stage. Actually.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Dr. David, sir. Very good evening, one and all present once again. And thank you for all of your active participation, being Sunday afternoon. And anyhow, Bangalore is under lockdown. Even next weekend also, it is a lockdown already announced. So I request all of you, please stay safe, take care. And it was a good session, a lot of learning for all of us. And I personally enjoyed the session. Wonderful deliberation from David sir. And I request one or two participants can share their experiences. Then I hand over the session to Dr. David sir.
I think
Yes,
today's
sir.
session was
Okay.
interesting. Lot of interactive session. One thing I liked was it was very interactive. Even it was virtual, as if I was feeling I am in the physical setting. That is
Right.
one thing positive I felt. He spoke about today about the skills required for a mentor or a coach or a counselor altogether. What are the general skills required? I think these skills are empathetic. We should be emotionally intelligent. We need a good communication skills, especially listening. And we should be persistent from both the sides. And we should be able to solve the problem. Problem solving approach, being non-judgmental. We should know how to ask question, at what time we have to ask question, how to question effectively, how to maintain, very important is maintaining confidentiality of our interaction with our clients, and ask the questions very skillfully, strategically, and understanding of goal settings and strategies. We have to set the outcome at one or the other point. There should be some outcome should be reflected, and the process of coaching he was telling. And he was talking about the active listening. Don't talk in the middle. Avoid talking. Avoid having preoccupied thoughts. And don't train your mind to be in some format. And he was also asking today, we spoke about stepping stones of NLP. One is our attitude is important. How to develop the attitude. What type of attitude NLP coach should have. And this is what we were discussing. We didn't speak about modeling and techniques. Probably in the next session, we will cover. And in the attitude, he spoke on curiosity. We should be very curious to understand the problem, because each individual is indifferent. Each intensity of the problems are different. And we should be ready to experiment, discover different types of techniques, because one technique may not work. So we should work on different techniques. For that, some skill is required, some experience is required. How we should act. We will not have all the information in the beginning. How to proceed. And we should have we should have initiate change. We should initiate change. That is called as generative change. And there may be total uncertainty in the beginning. We should be able to work in total uncertainty setup. But there is nothing like total certainty. There is no ideal condition. It is not like 1 + 1 is equal to,
Yes,
because
yes.
it is subjective. Everything is subjective. And the entire NLP is subjective experience. This is what I think was discussed in today's class. And it was a good opportunity to interact with all of the people, the entire 10. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am has summarized the complete
Yes, sir.
session very briefly. Wonderful.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Ruby, ma'am, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for giving me opportunity to speak, ma'am. I agree with her, and overall, a very very insightful, eye-opening, and excellent session, so that we can become a NLP trainer and a coach in a perfect manner, so that everybody appreciates and says that yes, you are a good student of David sir. You know, that way
Wonderful.
we have to be in the line of, it is not one way, we have to be both ways positive. And thank you very much, sir, for enlightening us with a great interactive session. Thank you, sir. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you, ma'am. Next session will be on 22nd, followed by 23rd will be the last day when we'll be interacting on the same time, 3 to 5:30. Now we have come to the end of the session, so I request David sir to give the concluding remarks. Then we'll close for today.
Thank you for your
We have
amazing efforts, President and
progressed.
Dr. David. Yeah, thank you for your
Thank
amazing
you,
efforts,
Santosh sir.
President and Dr. David. I mean, I've learned NLP to an extent. I think I lived every word of what you said. I could so very well connect to your intent of why you were doing or why you were saying. Such crisp quality of instructions is worth appreciating. I truly appreciate this time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay.
David sir, please
Fine.
conclude.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Your
So
remarks.
we have started with this attitude of NLP. So in the forthcoming modules, we will proceed upon like modeling techniques, and we will discuss the NLP communication model and certain other things. Then we will also be taking much more things like not only the qualities of a life coach, how you can practice as a life coach. For that, we will be providing you certain exercises and all those things. By the end of the last session, we will be giving you a practitioner guide as well as a guide for coaching thing, which will include all these materials in it. Okay, and I really enjoyed this session, and especially contributions from I could see in the screen very few names Gomati ma'am, Ruby ma'am, Purnima ma'am, Nikit sir, Santosh sir, especially Srinivas sir, Maharajan sir. So a lot of interactions and all those things. Forgive me if I have failed to mention any name. There is one Jay Bharti ma'am who has contributed. So it was like more, this is the way NLP sessions all to be handled actually. Not from my part, I'm saying, from the audience part. You should, throw out your real-time experiences, throw out your opinions, throw out what you have got, your own perspective. Then only we can engage in a lot of pure learning. And that has happened, I believe, in the last two sessions. And I expect and I pray God that this should happen in the next two sessions also. Okay. And advanced Pongal, Shankranti, or whatever you call in your local places. Okay. Wishes to you all. Stay healthy and stay happy. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Namaskar.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you so
Makara
much.
Sankranti.
Thank